Hey, what's going on, everyone? It's Chris, and welcome to ManicManiac predicts the 2016 NFL postseason. How's everyone doing today? Welcome to Championship Weekend. We are down to the final four teams, and it's a very exciting time. We finally got some good football on Sunday, an offensive battle, and then a defensive battle. That was two great games, and it set up what should be a insane championship Sunday. We got the NFC Championship first at 3 o'clock, followed by the AFC Championship at 6:40. We'll get into that in just a second. But first, we want to get to the kickoff topic, which was something that happened last week, but I did not address in last week's video. I wanted to give my thoughts on it. And that is the San Diego Chargers are no more. It is now the Los Angeles Chargers. They have moved from San Diego to Los Angeles and will be in the StubHub Center for a few years before moving in with the Rams in the new luxurious stadium that is being built in Los Angeles. It was a move that apparently there was a lot of reluctance by the owners of the Chargers. By the NFL, by people in San Diego, obviously, and the people in Los Angeles. And this was not really exciting in any phase. Like, no one's happy about this. Maybe some people that are Los Angeles Chargers fans that wanted the Chargers back in, but the Chargers, there wasn't a long history of Los Angeles Chargers. The Chargers were there for about a year and then went to San Diego. It's anyone thinking that this is like like the team returning home, like the Los Angeles Rams. You're only kidding yourself at this point. It's that this is not good news in any way, and I don't know who to blame, honestly. Because no one really wanted it to happen, but it comes down to money, and it comes down to greed in a lot of ways. And you want to blame the people in charge of the organization in the Chargers. You want to blame Dean Spanos because he did not want to pay for his own stadium, but a lot of it also had to do with San Diego, and if they would have room in their city to build a stadium, if they would have the budget to do so, and people had the opportunity to vote on it, and they chose not to. And I don't necessarily agree with the deal that they gave, like that they were going to really raise the hotel tax in order for the stadium to be built and, I guess, kept. I did not agree with that deal. So I can understand why people, why people decide not to vote for it. But it just, I think that there is ways to avoid this situation happening, and it's a shame because now it just sucks, I got excited last year about the prospects of any team moving to Los Angeles, but when the Rams moved, it was exciting because the Rams had Los Angeles, they were in Los Angeles for so long, and they obviously won their only Super Bowl in St. Louis, but this was a team that had a much longer history in Los Angeles. So when they returned to Los Angeles, it was a happy time. It was more of a happier time. People didn't give a shit. Probably, and people are not happy with the Rams right now because they're kind of sucking. But it's still more happy than this. I mean, the Chargers, they just don't have, like, San Diego and Los Angeles in terms of sports are like the two biggest rival towns, and the idea that Los Angeles has now took away the Chargers from San Diego sucks, and Los Angeles isn't even happy about it. But I will say this, and I said it earlier, and I feel like it's worth repeating. Everyone's saying that this team sucks, and I get it. When you have two seasons back-to-back that are losing records, yes, easily, especially when you lose to the Browns. Yes, it sucks. You had a bad season, but this roster is a lot more deep than people think. Phillip Rivers, he had some struggles this year, but he still is playing great at his position. You have a young stud at running back with Melvin Gordon. You still have a lot of great receivers. Unfortunately, Keenan Allen was out of the season early, but he's still a great playmaker. Travis Benjamin has come up big for that team. Antonio Gates, I don't know how long he will keep on playing, but he's always been great. Hunter Henry as a backup tight end. You have this receiving core that works out great. Then the defense, you got Joey Bosa, and then Melvin Ingram, and you have Casey Hayward. You got on all three levels. You got playmakers, and yes, they need to add some more pieces in the draft and in free agency. But if they could keep a lot of their star players, and this could be a really good team. They can contend. Maybe not necessarily for a Super Bowl, for playoffs. And if they can do that, if they can start winning, and let's say the Rams aren't winning, they can easily steal some LA fans that are for the Rams and convert them, I think. Because what do people love? They love winning. So I think the Chargers are more set up to win right now than the Rams are. Now, with that being said, will either of these teams have winning records? I mean, there's a good chance that neither will. There's a good chance that both will. But I think right now, if you look at who's the better team in Los Angeles right now, the Chargers are the better team. And I think that people, while they're saying that, we hate them, we don't want them in this city, I mean, I think you're going to see a rise in Los Angeles Chargers fans. I think so. And I know that they're now a team in enemy territory, because a lot of Los Angeles football fans, a lot of them can be Raiders fans. I mean, that the people wanted the Raiders in Los Angeles instead of the Chargers, but I still think that they're going to be able to find a fan base, grow a fan base over time, especially if they start winning and winning soon. I think they have the ability to do that. So yeah, that's my thoughts on it. It sucks. It's a sucky situation, and then we're gonna have another situation maybe within the next week or so, next 2 weeks, where we're gonna have the Raiders potentially moving to Las Vegas, which would be even more depressing. A team was in the playoffs this year, a team that has such a bright future. Oakland will finally have a winner again, but no, they're gonna go to Las Vegas, but we have to see what the fan base is like in Las Vegas. So there's a lot to analyze going forward in terms of who will move where, and to see how the Los Angeles Chargers work out in their first year. But I have confidence in the team that they'll do well next year. So there's that. Let's move on to our prediction records. I went 4-0 again. So 174 to 88. A fantastic week for me. And a fantastic start to the playoffs. That means I'm guaranteed a winning record. The worst I can do is 8-3, and I'm fine with that. I might aim to not go to over 90 losses, but if I'm 174 to 91 by the end of it, I'm not gonna be too sad. I'm very happy with my season and how it ended up. So that's very good. As for the current playoff records, right now I'm 8-0, and Gocubs, he was 3-1 last week, so he got a little bit better, but unfortunately he dropped he picked the Chiefs to beat the Steelers. Did not happen. This week I have a lot of confidence in Gocubs. I think that he has the better choices. We will be deferring on both, and for good reason, as indicated by our Super Bowl predictions a few weeks ago. So we want to stay loyal to that. And I feel pretty good about my picks, too. I think both games are going to be a toss-up. We're going to debate it coming up right here, right now. Let's get to Gocubs, as he is standing by to let me know who he thinks is going to win. Stay tuned. Alright, one last thing before we jump into our predictions. The Raiders have filed to be relocated to Las Vegas. The owners are expected to vote in March on it, and if they get 24 out of the 32 owners' approval, then they'll be able to move there. However, they will be staying in Oakland, at least according to reports. They will be staying in Oakland for another 2 years, I think, and then they'll be in 2019 making the full move to Las Vegas once their stadium is built. So this is another development. This kind of goes along the same lines, although I think it is different this time. Las Vegas is a market that not a lot of sports have. There's not really ever been a major team in Las Vegas. We now have the Las Vegas Golden Knights in the NHL that will be starting up in 2017. That'll be the very first Vegas team to have their season start. They'll start in 2017 of the fall, so it's exciting for Las Vegas to finally have a hockey team, and now they could potentially have a football team in the Raiders. So while it's great for Las Vegas, it does make me feel bad for Oakland, because finally the Raiders are starting to get their act together. They were, if Derek Carr did not go down with an injury, they might still be playing. They might be playing in the AFC Championship game. It's kind of just, it's sad. It's sad to think that the Raiders are, that they might be out of Oakland after all the heartbreak that the team has brought, but also all the glory in the past that they brought to the town. It's depressing, but kind of like the Rams, I'm a little bit more leaning towards being excited about the Raiders moving to Las Vegas, because they have moved around a lot. The Raiders moved from Oakland to Los Angeles, back to Oakland again, and I think they've won, one or two titles in Oakland. I don't mind them seeing them move to Las Vegas a lot, as much as I mind the Chargers, because the Chargers is already a Los Angeles team, and I think it's just they're not going to be able to develop a fan base as easily. There's just a lot of trouble. This is different. This is a new fan base that you can crack into. I don't know how many people are going to be saying that they are going to be preferring the hockey team over the football team, because the NHL is like the least popular of the four. I love the NHL, but I'm just saying that realistically. So this is a big market, and if the Raiders can generate a fan base in Las Vegas, that would be huge, and I would be very excited for them. And I think it will be insane. And we'll get like a Las Vegas Super Bowl sometime in the next decade, and it'll be interesting. So that's my opinion on it. I feel terribly for Oakland fans if this ends up going through. I'm not going to be recording any football podcasty things when the vote happens. I mean, I might talk about it when we do the schedule predictions for next season. But as far as I know, this is going to be my only opinion on it, other than when you see me talking about it on Twitter. So I feel terribly for Oakland, but I think it could be a great thing for Las Vegas to get a team. And I actually saw something interesting too. Someone was like, they said that why don't they just do an expansion? Well, you have to get a new owner that's willing to start a franchise, and if you can't, then the owners have to kind of split their money at that point, and it's not. They don't want to do that. They're too greedy for that. So that's why they're moving. The Raiders are just going to pick up and move. And let's face it, Oakland has not had a good stadium situation for a while. They need a new stadium. And Oakland, whatever has happened with them, something tells me though that Mark Davis, he didn't really do enough to kind of get a new stadium in there. He kind of was just getting giddy over being the first NFL Las Vegas team. So I think that he kind of just ignored everything else. So I don't know, but I think it might be a good business move. Probably out of the three teams that have moved, that could potentially move in the 2-year span, I think they may be the most successful. But you never know. And that's another thing too. The NFL has kind of become like this weird, that all these teams are picking up and going. Is that going to reflect badly on the NFL? You have to wonder, like the fact that that the owners are not willing to put enough energy into getting a stadium in their current hometown, and the towns are not willing to spend as much, or the voters in that town are not willing to spend that kind of money on a new stadium. Whoever's fault that you think it is, I'm not gonna point fingers. I think it could go any place, but it makes you wonder: is the NFL not? Are people not willing to keep their NFL teams? Like they're willing just to let them go, or is the NFL just too greedy just to stay in one place and get up and move it away? Either way, I just think it looks terrible for the NFL in either direction. So I don't know. It'll be interesting to see what happens. Anyways, let's now move on. Gocubs and I are going to do our predictions. All right, we are back with Gocubs.
Chris.
Yes?
Chris.
Yes?
What's the furthest underground you've ever eaten a burger?
The furthest underground?
Yes.
Underground.
You've ever eaten a burger?
I've ever eaten a burger. I'm sure, like, I've been to, like, Penn Station, and I've had, like, a burger once, I'm sure. Like, that's probably the furthest underground I've been.
Okay.
It's close.
Cool.
Alright. That concludes that, then. Welcome to back to the predictions, guys. So, congratulations, Go Cubs. You got your bold prediction right last week.
I sure did. I didn't want it to be right in that way, but
yeah, you got saved by Eric Fisher's hold too, because that was almost a complete.
Okay,
catch.
look. I would have rather wanted that to be like a completed catch than to get the bold prediction right.
Oh, of course. I mean, yeah,
I wanted the Chiefs to win.
Oh, yeah. No, I get that, but But I mean, so then in a same way, like maybe like pat Eric Fisher on the back and then punch him in the face, but then he'll destroy you because he's a giant beast of an athlete. So. So yeah, we're gonna predict the championship games this week. We got two great blockbuster games that will decide who will go to Houston and face off against each other. I think we get a great Super Bowl matchup no matter what. It's
going to be fantastic.
Definitely different from last year where we had, a lot of defensive teams or teams that were great on offense.
These are like all offensive juggernauts.
These are all offensive juggernauts, and I don't think any of these teams, even if though we're gonna probably talk about the Patriots and the Steelers, them having some defenses, and the Falcons getting better on defense, and the Packers getting better on defense, but none of them are really that great on defense compared to like the Texans and the Broncos and like all those other teams that we've been saying number one defense, Giants and all them. So yeah, this is gonna be a great offensive battle from here all the way to Houston, so I'm very excited. So let's start out with the Packers at the Falcons. The Packers took down the boys on Sunday in an upset special, and it was the best game of the postseason by far.
Totally.
It was definitely a heart-stopping last. Like the second half was just insane. With the Cowboys rallying back, you had Mason Crosby kick a field goal. Then you had, what's his name? Dan Bailey kick a field goal. And then you had Mason Crosby kick another field goal. And they were all like from like 50 to 40 yards. These were long field goals. They were guaranteed.
Yeah, I think they were all 50 plus yards.
So it was intense, and who once again led this team to victory was Aaron Rodgers. He was absolutely insane yet again. But now he faces an even tougher test than last week, because now you have, first of all, the Packers are getting kind of depleted on offense. They're going into this probably without Jordy Nelson again, but they might not even have Devontae Adams. They might not even have Geronimo Allison, who has come up big for the team in the past few weeks. So it's going to be
So that leaves one wide receiver.
Right, exactly, or a bunch of unknowns. And it's scary. Yeah. I mean, you wouldn't, if you're a Packers fan, you'd want to hope that Aaron Rodgers, he has a history of making anyone around him, look good. You better hope that happens this week, because this Falcons team has just completely destroyed the Seahawks in just kicking ass on offense and just stopped them on defense a bunch of times. And one of the weirdest moments of the weekend was when Russell Wilson was stepped on by one of his offensive guards, and he fell into the end zone for a safety. for the Falcons, and it was just not a good day for the Seahawks. But it showed that the Falcons, both on offense and defense, have improved a lot. But they are facing a very tough test in Aaron Rodgers and the Packers, who have been red hot for weeks and weeks on end. It's gonna be a shootout. It's gonna be very interesting. Go Cubs! What do you think is gonna happen?
I think that both of the offenses are really good, and it's going to be mainly a battle of the offenses, even with the wide receiver situation in Green Bay.
Mm-hmm.
The Falcons' offense is firing on all cylinders, essentially perfect right now. Like Mohamed Sanu has come up and had a lot of good plays against Seattle, in addition to Julio Jones.
Right.
And Matt Ryan made some amazing passes, especially in that drive when they went from the 1 yard line to a touchdown.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And that's really hard to stop. The Packers defense is definitely better than the Falcons defense, I think. But I think there are more stand-up players on the Packers.
Yeah, I mean they have a lot more names, I guess, big names on the defense.
Yeah, but the Falcons do have Eric Beasley, who was the leading sack rusher.
Vic Beasley,
my bad.
Yeah.
So having Vic Beasley, they're not very good in the red zone, which is a problem when you're facing Aaron Rodgers. But if they give him less than 5 seconds running around with the ball, I think they'll have a much better chance.
Yeah.
And yeah, so obviously I'm going with the Falcons.
Yeah. All right. So here's my argument for the Packers. So for me, it comes down to, once again, the beauty of what Aaron Rodgers has done. He has, first of all, what has really made this offense so just on fire lately has been the fact that the Packers actually have a competent tight end, who is Jared Cook. Jared Cook was the one.
Jared Cook has been doing very well.
He was the one that made the clutch catch at the end of the game to set up the field goal, and it is really just, it's insane how this team, despite the stars at receivers going down, that not having Jordy Nelson last week, it didn't really hinder the Packers a lot. And Aaron Rodgers has been really great under pressure. Apparently, according to Next Gen Stats that NFL.com does, Aaron Rodgers continues to just be able to get the ball out really quickly. And I don't know if the Falcons pass rush will be able to stop now. Now, I think that the Falcons are a fantastic team. I would love to see them go to the Super Bowl, because I think it's one of those teams that you were not expecting to see in the Super Bowl this year.
Exactly.
So
yeah.
I would
except me, I was expecting to see them very early.
Well, yes, you predicted them very early on with them and the Raiders, and I in a way I think this will be a win for everyone except for me, if I'm picking the Packers here, but. I do generally love the Falcons. I would love to see them make it,
and you also are a fan of Team Chaos, and I think the Team Chaos winner in this case is the Falcons.
Oh, absolutely, and that's why I'm on. I like both of these teams. I think they are so much fun to watch, and I won't care who makes it, but I'm going with the Packers. I think Aaron Rodgers, the idea of Aaron Rodgers versus Tom Brady, if that happens, that would be a juggernaut of a Super Bowl if that ends up happening.
That honestly would be. I think that would be the best for ratings.
Oh, 100%. And Steelers versus Atlanta, people would be like, "What the fuck?" But but still, I think it would be. I think it would be a hell of a matchup. But I think Falcons versus Patriots or Falcons versus Steelers would be great too. But I'm going with the Packers. I think they've been playing very well lately. So run the table. So
yeah, one of those legs is gonna break off.
Well, apparently with their receivers, all their limbs are just falling off. They can't even get back on the field. But let's move on to the AFC Championship game. The Steelers come in here after a close win over the Chiefs. They did not score any touchdowns because the Chiefs' defense was just playing very well, and then the Steelers just could not complete not complete drives, but their fourth killer bee in Chris Boswell was able to save them with 6 field goals. Now their offense is going to need to score a touchdown this week, and they're going to need to
surprise.
They're going to need to do it against Tom Brady and this Patriots team, who struggled against the Houston Texans.
They did.
And it will
be well, okay, so they struggled.
Still won by 18
points. They fucking obliterated them score-wise.
Score-wise.
They still kind of struggled. So.
Right. So, I think that it was eye-opening for both teams to see them not really at their best, both teams last week, but they still both came out with the win. You have the offense on this for the Steelers with Big Ben, Antonio Brown, and Le'Veon Bell. Le'Veon Bell has been one of the hottest players in the playoffs, despite this, other than Aaron Rodgers. He had back-to-back 150-yard games. At one point, Le'Veon Bell had more total yards, which I think it was at the half or 3/4 in, than the entire Chiefs offense. So,
right.
It's insane what they've been able to do on offense. They just could not get the touchdowns.
But they didn't score.
Yeah. But meanwhile, on the Patriots, you still have Tom Brady, and you still have all those weapons around him, including
a bunch of healthy receivers.
Right, and Dion Lewis coming back from injury, and he had the return for a touchdown, and he's been making plays at running back, at wide receiver. So he in all phases of the game has been playing great. So it's going to be tough to stop the Patriots this week. Go Cubs. What do you think?
I think you're right. It's going to be tough to stop the Patriots. They are on fire. I think I feel like they've been just this unstoppable force in the league ever since that one loss to Buffalo when they didn't have Brady. And then they just obliterated Browns, and then we're like, oh, that feels good, and they can continue to just keep doing that. Obviously losing to Seattle, but other than that, just destroying everybody. There really isn't. Well, there is contest, and I think that a lot of people have faith in the Steelers, and both teams were slipping, as you said, but it's really hard to root against Tom Brady.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, you as much as you say that you can't count Aaron Rodgers out, if the Patriots do what they did in the second half against the Texans, do that all the time against the Steelers aren't going to stand a chance, and Chris Boswell is going to be their only saving grace.
Right. I agree in that sense. So you're going with the Patriots then.
Yeah.
But
Falcons, Patriots, both of the teams with red.
Yeah. All right. So here you go. Here's my side of it. I agree. I think the Patriots have always been unstoppable, and I've made it's been a theme with this prediction series that I always pick the Patriots because they are always the team that is unstoppable, that you can never stop them. They're just the best all the time.
Yeah.
But I've made an obligation when I made my Super Bowl picks to pick the Steelers. But here's my argument.
Sure did.
Here's my argument, though. The Patriots have not faced a competent quarterback since Russell Wilson, who they lost to at home. And I know that a lot of people want to tout their number one scoring defense, and yes, I get that. Their defense has made some great plays, but they have not played against Ben Roethlisberger, Antonio Brown, and Le'Veon Bell on the field in a long time. They didn't play earlier this year because Landry Jones was the quarterback. They didn't play on the year before that because Le'Veon Bell was not on the backfield. So you have to see what happens with these three on the field. Now, if they can't score touchdowns, there's an issue. But I think that part of the reason why that happened was because the Chiefs' defense was so great all season long. I don't think the Patriots have the same defense that the Chiefs do.
No, they definitely don't.
I think the Steelers are going to have are going to score a lot more than they did the first time in the last game against the Chiefs. So I think that we can't completely count out the Steelers here. I'm going to pick them. I would be picking the Patriots in any other situation, but I think that there is an argument to be made here about the Patriots, and to me this is a prove it game. Prove to me that you have a top defense, because I'm sick of hearing people saying that they have a top defense where they haven't really played anyone great on offense. Now they have the opportunity to shut them down. If they could show me that, then I have absolute confidence that they could go into Houston and kick ass. But I just right now that remains hazy for me. And then protection is a big thing. The Steelers defense has gotten a lot better. Can they protect Tom Brady, because he took a beating in that Houston game? Patriots absolutely need to protect their quarterback against the Steelers pass rush that has gone a lot better. So I'm going with the Steelers.
Yeah.
Sue me, I guess. But
I will.
But for how much?
Half a sandwich.
Oh, okay. We're gonna put sandwiches on this game. All right, sounds good. All right, I'll make sure I'll ship a bologna sandwich all the way to Illinois. It should still be good when it gets there.
I don't like bologna.
You will once I'm done with you. No kidding. All right, let's move on to the bold predictions for these games. Predictions. Again, the bold prediction champ right here. Go Cubs. Let's see
if I had a trumpet fanfare right now, I would play it.
There you go. What do you think? What do you think is gonna happen this week? What do you think something insane will happen?
All right. So the Packers are going to be down, and they're going to set up with their Hail Mary pass, and everyone's going to expect Aaron Rodgers to make it, except he gets intercepted.
And is that going to be an end of game? Well, you don't have to add that, but at some point, it gets in the game.
You know what? Yeah, I will do end of game, because that's like really only when they run Hail Mary stuff.
Right.
But on a Hail Mary pass, and this is a pass that would have been like let's say over 40 yards of completion.
Mm-hmm.
Aaron Rodgers will get intercepted.
Okay,
yes.
So the Hail Mary needs to be run by Aaron Rodgers, and that it has to be
over only by Aaron Rodgers.
Only by Aaron Rodgers, over 40 yards, and it will be intercepted by the Falcons. Has happened before. Julio Jones actually intercepted the pass from the Seahawks a few years back when they were in the playoffs, like a Hail Mary type pass. So that was an interesting play when that happened. For me, I think last week I wish I saved the 90 or the 80 point 80 points on total offense between the two teams for this week, because I feel like that would be perfect for the Packers Falcons. But now I'm going to go something a little bit bolder. I'm going to say that the Steelers and the Patriots will score more combined points than the Packers and Falcons.
All right, I'm going to call bullshit right there.
It's bold, though. Yeah,
it is.
Because the Steelers and Patriots they've both gotten better on defense. Let's say that both gets exploited, and that becomes the shootout over the Packers and Falcons, and their defenses step up more. I don't know. I think it would be a topsy-turvy world, but that's my bold prediction right there. Steelers and Patriots that could even mean that it's like 45-7 the Patriots in the AFC Championship game.
It's like 21-20.
Right, in the Packers Falcons, and there you go. That's more combined points.
Yeah, there you go.
So that is my bold prediction right there. So
sounds good.
And there's a 50% chance that our playoff Super Bowl predictions will be right, and we went with our Super Bowl predictions for our final game predictions. So there's a good chance for that. I wouldn't mind seeing, though, like a Packers, Patriots, or Steelers, Falcons, so we could just call it even. We call it even. None of us win.
Nah. It's all or nothing, dude.
All right.
Which game is first, by the way?
It's Packers at Falcons at 3 o'clock on Fox.
Okay.
And then
Eastern?
Yeah. Well, okay, so that's 2 o'clock for you, and then 5:40, 5:30 would be the Patriots, Steelers, CBS. So
I got to figure out where I'm watching that.
Well,
if I'm going over to a friend's house or not.
Yeah, well, I'm sure that
I know how to stream it now, but
yeah,
I'd like to watch it with others.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's always great. So we'll be back next week for Pro Bowl stuff. We'll talk about stuff. I don't know. We'll figure it out when we get there. We'll probably talk about this a little bit about the Super Bowl matchup, but not dive too much into it. We'll probably talk about what's happening in the Pro Bowl, make our maybe bullshit predictions, and then we have another segment in mind. We won't spoil that right now, but we have another segment in mind for that. So tune in next week for that.
We're gonna get naked.
Oh well, God, why do you have to spoil it, man? You just like there's no like spoiler alert.
I want them to know that they shouldn't watch.
So like I have like -5 views when I end up uploading this video. All right, they actually take views away from me. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you all enjoyed. Be good to one another. Be kind to one another. Enjoy football Sunday and watch the East-West Shrine game on Saturday. That's for some look into the college.
It's North-South now.
Say again.
It's North-South.
Well, no. Well, that's Senior Bowl.
Oh, it's Senior Bowl. My bad.
Enjoy the East-West Shrine game as well, because that'll be good for the draft, I guess. Wes Luntz is playing that game. Go Cubs!
Oh God, no.
Illinois quarterback. All right, guys. Thank you so much for watching. See you guys next time. Bye bye.